Shalom. Allah start off by giving praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem, Hawaka Kadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, grand millstones, salutations to the Ophelect that's pushing the truth across four corners of the earth in all faith, truth, and sincerity. I'm one about back getting us sitting. That's what I'm going to real quick. You know how you have these these leaders of Israel, whether it be, these pastors in these churches or these different Israelite camps and leaders, that's leading, that's teaching wrong doctrine, or just, whoever, so-called Negro, Latino, Native Israelites look up to as far as like leadership, for leadership, for understanding, to go in the right way or direction, because you have these false leaders of Israel, that is leading so-called Negro, Latinos, and Natives Israelites, to nothing but death and destruction, man. They're not leading them. They're not leading them in the right direction of the righteous, path of life, of the Lord Yahushua, Yahushua. Excuse me. A lot of so-called Negro, Latinos, and Natives, are in these times going forward, gonna be led to nothing but, I said, a lot of death and destruction. Be led to death and destruction, man. That's that's the path they're heading into, But I'm getting to Isaiah 9:16. For the leaders of this people cause them to err, and they that are led of them are destroyed. So like I was saying, you have these, these false leaders of Israelites, are leading the so-called Negro, Latino, Native Israelites, which are the chosen people of the Lord, the chosen people of the Lord. Are leading. These false leaders are leading the Israelites. Leading the Israelites in the wrong direction. Excuse me. Leading the Israelites in the wrong direction. And like I said, it's gonna cause them, like the scripture say, and they that are led of them are destroyed. Like I say, these different Israelite camps, the different Israelite camps, the leaders of these different Israelite camps, they are leading, the so-called Negro, Latino, Native Israelites in the wrong direction, man. Gonna lead them to be destroyed, and because they not in the spirit, they're not in the spirit of the Lord Yahweh Shah. They are the spirit. They in the spirit of this world. Of this so-called white man Esau in my world. They in that mindset. Of do as thou wilt, and that's gonna lead to, like I said, nothing but death and destruction. If you're not in the way, if you're not in the righteous order in the ways of the Lord Yahweh Bahashem Yahushua, you're gonna be destroyed. You so-called Negro, Latino, Natives, you're Israelites, but it's prophecy, two-thirds of Israelites gonna be destroyed. They're gonna be, caught up in, these false leaders of Israel, these false doctrines and ways they think that, is right, but it's not. It might look good, but it ain't good. It might look good, but it ain't good. Going that way, it seemed promising, but it ain't. Because like I say, you have so-called Negro, Latinos, and Natives Israelites that when they hear the apostles and the elders and the brother Grand Millstone that teach the word of the Lord Yahweh Bahashem Shah, they don't like the sound of it. They can't they can't vibe to it. I'm gonna say, like, they can't, the song, you know, they don't want to hear that America, Babylon the Great gonna be destroyed, or they don't want to deal with the bitterness of the scriptures, the realness of the scriptures. They want to hear everything gonna be all right and the sunshine, rainbow, and blah blah blah, love and happiness and all that. You know what I'm saying? And like I say, this, the scriptures, Ecclesiastes chapter 3 talk about, that's a time for everything under the sun. It's a balance. And the Lord Yahweh Bahashim Yahushua is a balanced power. He's a balanced power, man. It's not gonna always be love and happiness and having fun all the time, man. It's gonna come times where it's gonna be, it's gonna be down times, and it's gonna be hate and war going, which we in a time now. We in a time of war and hate, and it's gonna be times where you in sorrow and pain or sufferings, So everything, everything has its time, But like I say, so-called Negro, Latino, Israelites, they want something that's gonna be something consoling and comfort, as far as like, that they could have fun, to keep having fun and partying and bullshit with her, right? They don't want to hear, America gonna be destroyed or whatever it may be, But this place, America, Babylon the Great, gotta be destroyed, man. For the Lord shot to establish the righteous kingdom on this earth and more. You so-called Negro, Latino, Native American Israelites, y'all should not want this place to continue. You should not want to be under these heathen, this heathen wicked Edomite double, man. You should not want to continue to pay taxes and paying for water and this, and you paying for goddamn everything. You wake up, shit. Excuse my language. You paying. It's like this shit on your mind. Like, damn, I wake up, I gotta clock in, or wake up, I gotta pay for this, gotta pay for this. Like, it's like, damn, don't you get tired of this shit? Like, this shit, you should not be paying for everything. And as soon as you wake up, like, man, I gotta wake up. You think about, I gotta pay for this, gotta pay for that, and then, it's like, man, it's like, it's draining. Cause it's like, man, you gotta hustle and bustle to try to get more money so you could, pay for your, your needs. Like I say, right now, everything going up, everything high. The prices of goods are high. Like your needs, the stuff that you need for your household, whatever it may be, your hygiene products, whatever it may be, right? Stuff that you need for the house, right? Your soap and all that stuff like that, right? Tissue and stuff like that, right? All this stuff is going up, man. It's ridiculous, right? And like I say, man, and these so-called Negro, Latino, and Native Israelites are, just want to continue to, keep this place going. For what, man? Y'all want to establish something here and be comfortable in this, you know what I'm saying? And want to be, let's be equal to the Edomite, so-called white red, the Edomite red devil, Edomite, the so-called white man, the red devil, which really they red, and these so-called white people really they red Edomites, like, why would you want to be, still around these Edomite devils and all, have or be under them or whatever it may be, right? You want them to continue to just, boss you around or whatever it may be, man, forget all that, man. The so-called Negro, Latinos and Natives, Israelites are supposed to be on top, man. We supposed to be the ones really in rulership and and ruling over these heathens and make sure everything's established in the righteous order of the Lord Yahweh Bahashim Yahushua, man. Because the ways of the Lord Yahweh Bahashim is good, It's really good, beneficial, for the earth and for the people and and shit, health wise and so forth, man. Just everything the Lord Yahweh Shai, he does and his ways are good, But like I said, our people they don't want to, like I said, they just don't want to deal with the bitterness, man. Like I say, you can't have sweets all the time. It's gonna lead to you having just a whole bunch of health problems, right? And that's why a lot of so-called Negro, Latino, Native Israelites, they want to, indulge in all these sweet stuff and eating all this sweet stuff and this and that, all this junk food, whatever it may be, but it's not good for your body. Over time, you start having health problems. So you gotta have some bitters, some herbs and stuff in your system to cleanse all that shit up out of you. You know what I'm saying? To balance it out. You gotta balance yourself out too. I'm not saying nothing wrong with having sweets, but you gotta balance yourself out, man. And that's what it is, man. Like a lot of so-called Negro, Latino, Native Israelites don't like balance, man. You gotta have balance within your life, and man, and like I say, with the truth of Lord Yahweh Shai is balance. Everything ain't gonna be, it's not gonna go your way. It's not gonna be, like I said, sunshine and happiness and this and that. You gotta have to deal with the bitter, man. You're gonna have to deal with it, man. But anyway, I didn't want to make this too long. I'm kind of rambling. Excuse me, man. Let me go to I think I had it. No, my bad. Yeah, I'm gonna go to Matthew. Excuse me, Matthew 15:4. Matthew 15:14. Let's go there. Matthew 15:14. Let them alone. They be blind leaders of the blind, and if the blind lead the blind, both shall fall into the ditch. Hey, so you so-called Negro, Latino, Native Israelites, y'all should be getting away from these false leaders of Israel, these prophets, whatever. They're not looking out. They're not. Excuse me. They're not really. They're not caring for your soul. They care about their pockets, man. They care about what they can, get out your pocketbook. How much money they get out of you. They're not caring about your soul and try to give you understanding of the ways of Lord Yahweh Shai, lead you in the right direction. So that the Lord Yahweh Shai won't destroy you. So you could understand, who the so-called white man, Edomite devils are, who your enemy is, and so forth, man, and just being the ways Lord Yahweh Shai, repent, and pray to the Lord Yahweh Shai for mercy, in these times, mercy and deliverance, from His wrath and destruction, But like I say, man, you gonna have those Israelites, they gonna follow those false leaders of Israel. They're gonna be destroyed, man. Cause like I say, it might seem good, it might look good, it might sound good, but it ain't good. It ain't correct. In the spirit of Lord Yahweh Shai, that's not the right doctrine. Ways of their teaching is off, man. It's wrong. And like I said, the apostles and the elders and the brother Great Millstone have the truth. The Lord Yahweh Shai is dealing with Lord Yahweh Shai is dealing with the men of Great Millstone. So if you truly, sincerely, excuse me. If you truly, sincerely looking and want to, get understanding of the word of Lord Yahweh Shai, then listen to the apostles and elders and brother Great Millstone. Listen to the teachings. Study. And I say and pray and fast. To get more understanding. So forth. And hope for mercy from Lord Yahweh Shai if you sincere. Once you come to the truth, of the understanding of the word Lord Yahweh Shai. And I say most of 2/3 Israelites, so-called Negro, Latino natives, are going to be women. Cause like I say, women outnumber men. A lot of Israelite women out here are just gone. They mind is stuck in America. They just want to have fun and party and bullshit and dance all day and show their booty and all this stuff. Excuse my language, whatever. But they want to do what they want to do. They want to act foolish. That's what they want to do. They want, like I said, they want to have fun. They want to have fun. And this place, America, that's what they comfortable with. They don't want to deal with or hear, this place gonna be destroyed. This place, America, Babylon Great gonna be destroyed. They don't want to hear all the stuff that the apostles and the elders and the brother and Great Millstone teach. If I like to understand of the Bible, what's to come to this place. A lot of death and destruction is coming to America by Babylon the Great. These times going forward ain't gonna be nothing but, utter chaos and, destruction, in these cities of America, Babylon the Great. So things might seem, like I say, it's not, it might seem okay here in America, Babylon the Great, but things gonna drastically get worse and worse, man. I say we in the beginnings of it, but it's not gonna get no better. You're gonna see things can keep getting worse and worse. And people gonna be out here. You got folks now backstabbing people now in the back and doing stuff and doing people wrong and what I'm saying, so forth, man. But hey, that's what's gonna come about, man. And a lot of so-called Negro, Latino, Native Israelites gonna have to 2/3 of Israelites gonna have to deal with that wrath and judgments of the Lord Yahweh Shah. And the 1/3 of Israelites, the 144,000, the elect, hopefully on probably righteous number to escape the wrath and judgment of the Lord Yahweh Shah. But and those that believe Lord Yahweh Shah, that hope for the mercies and Lord Yahweh Shah in these times going forward, and to be of that number, and to get beamed up in the chariot so-called UFO when the Lord Yahweh Shah returns, to get that crown, and just and to escape that second death. But I'll go from there to I'm go to Isaiah 3. And then I want this message too long. Isaiah 3 and 12. Yeah. Isaiah 3 and 12. Yeah, Isaiah 3 and 12. As for my people, children are their oppressors, and women rule over them. O my people, they which lead thee, cause thee to err, and destroy the way of their path. So it says, as for my people, children are their oppressors. So you got this so-called white Edomite devils in power. They they like a big ass child. Power, man, doing all this stupid, crazy shit. These unrighteous decrees, is being petty. And keeping the so-called Negro, Latino, Israelites down, docile, slow. Trying to keep Israel, for rising up. And so they, what they do. They flash these goodies, distractions to the so-called Negro, Latino, Israelites. Because you flash something, shiny amongst Israelites or whatever, they stop to calm down and not rise up. Because one thing that these so-called white people, Esau and my devils, don't want is for Jake to rise up and take, start to, get power and this and that, and they start to, the Edomite devils start to, get, shaken up, afraid. But like I said, this truth that the apostles and the elders and the brethren great don't teach, through the spirit power Lord Yahweh Basham Shai, is shaking the elite up, because its truth is it's like a wildfire, right? It's hard to put out, man. You can't put this truth out, man. They're trying they're trying to find ways to stop it, man. But hey, ain't never stopping this truth. Like I said, Lord Yahweh Shai gonna be the one. It's gonna come a time where he's gonna take his word away, but right now, this word, this truth is, is being pushed out more and more, and exposing you so-called white people, Esau, Edomite devils, for who you are. Y'all the wicked, man. But and women rule over them. Like I say, man, the Edomite devils know with that, women's rights and stuff. You got women in position of powers of governor position, whatever seats or whatever it may be, right? And you got women that, telling men what to do or whatever it may be, and this and that, blah blah. Just because of the so-called white man Esau my devil, he did that, he made that happen. That's why you see the confusion. You got women out here as police officers and in the military, like they ain't supposed to be out there in the front, front of line, they ain't supposed to be in the front line of war, or to protect and serve, whatever. It's supposed to be men doing that, man. They're supposed to be men positioned and, like, say, being judges and so forth. Men supposed to be in position of higher power, to make decisions and this and that, But you got these women in positions, and it's just like, no, you know what I'm saying? It ain't right. Like, this ain't how it's supposed to be, But hey, you could thank the so-called white man, East Sodomite doubles, the elites for, they the ones that passed that shit or whatever, the women's rights and blah blah blah, to be equal to men and this and that, right? So, and that's why, like I say, a lot of so-called Negro, Latino, Israelites are just out here lost, man, because of this so-called white devil, East Sodomite double, man. The philosophies they push out there, it's not right, and like I say, they don't know what's the truth, what's not, or what to believe, but hey, Lord, how about Shai? If Yahushua wants you to know this truth, he wants you to come into the truth and believe and understand. He's gonna open up to you for you to believe and understand. If you up there, it's not gonna leave you. You're gonna be sealed. If you're the leg, Yahushua got you sealed in this truth. You're not gonna be into no other philosophies or go back into the world and party bullshit, whatever it may be, or try to be famous, trying to be a famous streamer or whatever, man. Well, it may be right. You trying to be something in this world, right? You gonna be, the elect gonna be more into this truth of word Lord Yahushua and teaching this truth and waiting for Lord Yahushua to take down this wicked kingdom that's ran by these so-called white people, Edomite devils, these red devils, man. Waiting for Lord Yahushua to bring these devils out of power, man. The elect gonna be wastefully paying for Lord Yahushua, to take down this wicked system, man. The elect don't give a damn about trying to be something in this world or whatever it may be, right? Trying to, because this place ain't got too long, man. It's temporary, man. All this stuff is temporary, man. Trying to, the elect is not gonna sell out, for this fiat money, this money that ain't nothing, right? It's not even, it don't hold weight. It's not even backed by silver or gold. It don't hold nothing. It don't hold no value. This paper dollar ain't no value, man. Ain't no value, man. But yeah, man, I didn't want to make this too long. So hope this is edifying. So again, like of our present glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem, Harakakadash, to the apostles elders, to the Sisakim brothers, to the Fiakwaf, sisters, to do listen, keep the faith, and Yahushua keep fighting with us. Say shalom.